Hello. First of all, thank you for signing up to the 28-day challenge. The next 28 days are going to be very interesting and you are going to get some great results. Let me tell you a little bit more about it. So we've run the challenge with over 200 people now, 200 success stories, thankfully. It's a tried, tested and proven method as a way of losing body fat and retaining muscle mass. The plan is based on a 40% carbohydrate, 30% protein, 30% fat split. So within every single meal, that will be the split, that will be the breakdown, and in every single day, that will also be the breakdown. Throughout the challenge, you will try new food. Some you might like, some you might not like so much. You will form new eating habits as well as find more structure day to day. This is because the plan is made up of 5 meals, 3 bigger meals, 2 smaller snacks. Try and eat these at regular intervals. This will definitely help. It will also help regulate blood sugar. All of these things combined will help you achieve great results. Within the consultation, you will receive an information booklet. Within the booklet, you've got a little bit more information about the breakdown of this, the foods you will be eating on the plan. We'll also talk about goal setting. We set 2 goals that will help you stay a little bit more focused throughout the 28 days. So when we come back, we can talk about how you've got there, how you found it. So this is how the plan will initially look. You will receive it in a PDF format. That will be about 3 days before the challenge is due to start. That will give you enough time to do the initial shop and prep for the plan to start. There's some information on the bottom. This is the email address to email if you have any questions. There's also, you can follow us on Facebook and also on Instagram. There's a little information in the introduction about points that we've already spoken about, so you can have a little read through that just to familiarise yourself with the points. The plan is made up of a mixture of recipes. So we have breakfast recipes, we have lunch recipes and also dinner recipes. Each recipe makes more than 1 serving. So in the actual plan, it gives you information on what to do with the rest of the food. We've made this table to make life as easy as possible. So on here we have Sunday for week 1, these are the recipes you have to make. On week 2, this would be what you would have to make, so you can plan ahead. Once you've made it, you can just tick it off. Usually we find either highlighting it or putting a cross through it helps get it out of the way, helps you know exactly where you're at and what you've made. This is the shopping list to buy things once. You might find that you've got most of these items in your kitchen already. If not, we've categorized each one in a way you would find it in a supermarket. In this page, it is literally things that you would need to buy once. Things like protein powder, 1 bag of that will get you through the full month. The next one is going to be the week 1 of the shopping list. So again, we've made categories for each individual items. So we have meat, fish, vegetables, fruit, dairy, and then other items. You also have a quantity. So for week 1, this is how much quantity you would need of chicken breast. It tells you that's also in grams. We have this done for every week, but please be aware on week 2 of how much you need, because you might have previous items from week 1 left over. If someone has bought, say, 1 kilogram of chicken, then they might use all of that up. If someone's bought 2 kilos of chicken, they might have 1,000 grams left. Okay, they might have 1 kilo left. So just please be aware of what you've got left before you do this shop, just so you don't buy twice. Also, if you do make things for the family, which is brilliant, we love seeing other people getting involved, this might not be totally accurate because the things that you might have left over might already have been used in a previous recipe. This is what your menu would essentially look like. We have breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner. You can see each day is made up of this. On the right hand side, you can see there's a notes section. This tells you what you need to make, how many you need to make, and also what you would need to freeze. So if you only need, say, 1 egg muffin for that week, you would freeze 9. And then further down, say in week 2, if you needed the egg muffin, it would say defrost egg muffin. It is literally a step-by-step guide of what to make, when to make it, and what to do with the rest. It tells you how much to eat of each thing. So on this one, for example, it would be 3 protein pancakes, and you would defrost those from frozen. It would be 40 grams of almond butter, and with every single meal, 250 milliliters of water. As I said previously, the snack and the breakfast, these can be changed around, but do not change this breakfast with this breakfast, because then it changes the whole calorie value for the day. As the weeks go on, you might see that the food changes slightly. Some days you might feel like you're eating quite a lot of food, some days you might feel like you're not eating enough, but each week will even itself out in terms of calories on how much it equals. So as I said previously, the plan is made up of a mixture of recipes, and also along with that, it's what we might call more plain food. So on this day, on Wednesday of week 3, it's 15 grilled prawns from frozen, 175 grams of sweet potato chunks, and 195 grams of broccoli. If you want to add a little bit of sauce to that, we recommend something like Nando sauce. That is because it's very low in calorie value and it doesn't change the split of the meal at all. If you added something like mayonnaise, it would be much higher in fat. If you added something like tomato ketchup, it would be much higher in carbohydrate because of the sugar content. Something like the Nando sauce is a really good alternative. Other than that, if you're happy to eat it plain, brilliant. You might find it a little bit more challenging towards week 3 and week 4, but please stay strong, please stick to it. The more you stick to this plan, I promise, the better results you're going to get. If you do have any questions, please let us know. Other than that, once the 4 weeks is up, we'll come back, we'll visit, and we'll see how great you've done. I'm going to go through some frequently asked questions. So these are questions that we've had from previous plans. This is to try and make it easier for you guys, and we try and make it better and better. First one, swaps and alternatives. You can swap some of the meals within the day. For example, you can swap a breakfast with a morning snack. Say if you train early morning, we've had that problem quite a few times. Some of the breakfast meals are quite big, some of the snacks are much smaller. So if you swap them round and have your snack before training, that's brilliant. Then you can have your breakfast later on. Same as on an evening, if you train a little bit later and it doesn't quite fit your schedule to have a big meal, have your snack before training and then have your meal later on. As long as you're having those 5 meals at regular intervals within the day, that's okay. One thing that we advise not to do is to swap them around within the day. So each day is made up of a certain amount of calories. If you swap them around too much, that changes the calorie value of each day, and that sometimes makes it detrimental. You're either eating too many calories or too little calories. On the plan, we've had quite a few questions about whether the food is cooked or uncooked. All of the food that is on the plan is in cooked weight, which sometimes makes it a little bit more challenging when it's things like oats or rice or things that are quite hard to measure. As a general rule, any sort of carbohydrate that expands, so as an example, that could be oats, that could be quinoa, that could be rice, they all expand. When you're measuring out, reduce the quantity on the plan by 50%. So if you've got 100 grams of, say, oats, if you measure out 50 grams, once you've put the water into that, then it usually makes up 100 grams. Meat and vegetables, we usually say decrease by about 25%. So vegetables, things like onions, sometimes things like peppers, they reduce in size by 25%. So if you measure it out when it's cooked, that's usually much easier to do. When I'm doing it, I try and make one big batch and then I just portion it out like that. If it's anything to do with meat, again, that will decrease in size by about 25%. So if you measure it when it's raw, once it's cooked, you've lost that. So always measure out after it's being cooked. Tupperware, lots and lots of Tupperware. You'll probably be sick of it by the end of the plan, but it definitely helps. If you have everything set up, sometimes when you're doing the prep, it's a little bit more time consuming, but if you've done everything within one day, or if you take 2 days to do the preparation and you've got all the Tupperware ready and everything sorted, it makes every other day much easier, but buy lots of it. Eat everything together. All of the food that is in one box, please eat together. We've had people say previously that they had half of that and then half of it later. It doesn't work like that, because then that changes the whole split of that meal. The whole idea is that you eat everything that is within that box. That is counted as one meal. Even if it takes a little bit longer, you might find it's a lot more food than you used to. You might find the quantity sizes are a little bit different, but over the 28 days, your body will adjust, your stomach will adjust, and it'll all be okay. So I think that's probably the main questions that we've been asked previously. If you do have any more, then please let us know. We are always here to answer any questions that you have. Other than that, we're just excited to come and see you guys and see what happens.